What's going on, YouTube? Guido Whisperer here for another episode of Ride Your Bike with the Guido Whisperer. Anyways, just wanted, before we go ahead and hit the subscribe button, give me a like, give me a comment. But today, we're going to discuss mounting the GPS Hammerhead Karoo onto your Cannondale Slate. I ride a Slate, so you might not have the same issues as I do when it comes to mounting things. But because I have the lefty Oliver on my Slate and the way everything's made up, it actually impedes on the bike itself for mounting. So, without further ado, I have the roll top outer shell bag on the front. I ride with this bag all the time. I love it. Check out that link that's on the top side of the screen and hit it and go check out that video also. But this video is about mounting the bracket when it comes to the Hammerhead Karoo. So the way I run my outer shell bag is just like that. As far as looping it across the handlebars, it comes in and links on the bottom side of the stem. So this is where the problem comes with this whole thing. So the standard Hammerhead bracket, and if you guys ever want to change a couple things out, this is probably one of your first things that you want to change out with the Hammerhead Karoo, beside allowing Apple or talk to Apple about using the heart rate monitor on the Apple Watch to the Hammerhead. I think those two would be huge benefits to the Hammerhead. Other than that, I think the Hammerhead's pretty awesome. But we'll discuss quick here. We have the Allen key. We'll talk about how this gets mounted on a standard. So if we think about it, the reason why I want this to face rear, as I talked in my last video, is because I have this bag that flips over. So that if you were to mount this the standard way, it's actually going to be impeding and cover everything up, and it won't latch correctly. So I'll quickly just mount it on here, and then we'll talk about that Garmin one that I have there that I purchased that actually folds back on itself and allows you to utilize it in the manner that I would like to use it. So as you can see here, if you mount it, it comes with a spacer block on there. I won't mount the spacer block, waste a bunch of your time, because really this is not what the video is going to be about, because it really does impede on everything you do if you're running a front bag like I do. And again, I run the front bag for a multitude of things: snacks, cell phone, car keys, all that good stuff. My buddy actually rocks a frame bag. I'm not into the frame bags as much as he is. But, you know, each is his own when it comes to your personal bike and personalize it. I love outer shell. I've done a couple reviews on their bags themselves. So, as you can tell from Hammerhead, without the spacer, it's a little wishy-washy. But again, this here would cover that Hammerhead completely up. If you look at the way this mounts, it would sit to the front side here and would just be able to be covered up. So, Garmin came up with a great product. And we'll mount that here momentarily. We'll take it out of the box, unwrap it, and mount it up to my Cannondale Slate. I ride a 105. I do a roll top bag in the front, and I run the saddle bag to the rear. Also from outer shell, where I keep my extra spare tubes, some tools. I actually fit a coat. You can also check out that video that I did over the summer when it came to the bags that I rock on my Cannondale. My Cannondale, just for you guys answer or asking questions about it, it is a 2015 Cannondale Slate 105, and I'll be doing more reviews on that bike itself. But back to the Garmin. Here's the Garmin mount. Was $34 on Amazon, and my buddy actually suggested this to me, Joe Kosovar. He does a lot of riding, but this comes with obviously the instructions, the box, and it uses the same Allen key, and it actually articulates. So the way it works is that it actually articulates back and forth, so you can mount it in a different location, or like that on the back side of itself. Okay, makes life very easy when it comes to running a GPS, and then I can run the cord right over top of that, and we'll show you how that works right now. So we'll take that. It has an Allen key at the bottom, or an Allen hex to open her up. It has a spacer block, and I might have to rock one of the skinnier spacer blocks here depending on how this is all set up. But it also articulates down Allows to fold back on itself for easy installment. And I'm pretty sure that we're going to have to apply the actual spacer block in between there. So we'll set down a second here. We'll open this bag up. Give us some free space there before we lock it in place. Run this underneath. And as you can see, there's a bit of space in between there. If you look real close, let me get the key here real quick, I'll show you. But if you take a look there, right in here is where the spacer. And each one of these spacers, like this one here, is pretty skinny, so we'll try that one first, see if it holds true. It has grooves created inside of it already, so it rides on there. Sits like that, and we'll put it over top the brake lines, shifting cables. It looks like we might have ourselves a good seal around there. So we'll run that hex key back on it, and then we'll be able to mount that GPS the way we want it. We'll run the Allen back in there, the Allen key. Takes a little bit to adjust, but once you have it locked in, you'll be able to go on your next ride out. And again, this is strictly if you're rolling a front bag. Not everybody has to run a bag. This is just the workaround to be able to do that. And I prefer things as close as possible, so that way when I'm in a saddle, I'm actually able to take a look at everything that's going on in front of me. It's not protruding way out. So that's pretty nice and tight there. It has another Allen key here, or hex key, to allow you to move it the way you want it. For adjustments, we'll leave it a little loose and then tighten it up once we get the hammerhead on there. I'll attach my bag back on there so you guys can see how that all works. That way there's no question. We'll lock that back in place. That doesn't impede anywhere along there. So pick it up again. See, I'm not going to tie off the lanyard or anything like that, just to show you guys. Here it clicks in. It sometimes becomes difficult to latch it in there. As you're looking at the top of the key side here is what you need to take a look at. And we have lock. So with that, there you go. Now it sits back on itself, locked into place, and you have your GPS or hammerhead. Also, you're able to come across here, lock it in place, boom. Still have the bag to cover up, hammerhead in front here. We lock it in place with the key, and then we're all set. Tighten everything up, and we're good to go. Now it's nice and tight, doesn't go anywhere. The bag sits around there. If you want still access it, you can still access your bag. Hammerhead sits on the front. Great product by Garmin. Works flawlessly with the Hammerhead Karoo once set up and everything goes. So with that, I'll leave you guys to keep riding. Again, please subscribe, hit the like button. Make sure you give me some feedback when it comes to this, and hopefully you guys like the videos, and I'll keep doing them. So until then, keep riding.